So we're going to look at the cosine rule. Why is cosine rule important? Well, A, it helps you get through your exams, but in real life, what's it used for? Well, it's in civil structural engineering, it's in electrical and computer engineering, and it basically allows us to calculate the angle or the length of anything on a pivot or that goes in a circle or a triangle. So the cosine rule, the formula, is a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos a. Now, at the moment, that probably doesn't mean much, just a number of letters and numbers. So if we look at a triangle, so if I draw as a triangle, and we'll start to make sense of what all those different letters mean. So if I label the sides A, so capital A, and that actually is this angle here, capital B, which is this angle here, and capital C, which is this angle here. Now, now that I've labelled the angles by labelling the corners of a triangle, I'm going to label the sides. Now, the little a will always be opposite the big A, the little b will always be opposite the big B, and the big C will always be opposite the little c. And basically the formula we use to put in the values from a triangle. So let's have a look at using our formula. So if instead of A, B, C and all that, I actually use numbers, and we'll put it into the formula. So we'll start by labelling our sides. So we'll call this one X, this one 6 metres, and this one 8 metres. And of course we need an angle, and we'll call this angle here 65 degrees. Okay. Just move that up here so we got a bit more room. So let's substitute into our formula. Well, first of all, we need a squared, which is of course this value here. So we've got x squared equals b squared. Well, that's 8 metres, so 8 squared plus c squared, which is 6 squared. Take away 2bc. Well, again, b is 8, c is 6. Cos A, well cos, and if we look, big A here is 65 degrees, so it's cos of 65 degrees. So what we have then is x squared equals 64 plus 36. Take away 2 times 8 times 6, so that is 96 cos 65. So x squared equals, now this is a part which we need to use a calculator for because of cos 65. So we have 64 plus 36, which gives us 100. Take away 96 cos 65, so we do that on our calculator, and that gives us 40.57, and that's the 2 decimal places. Now that means that x squared is equal to 59.43. But we're not looking for x squared, we're looking for the value of x, and to get that I square root, which gives me my answer of 7.71 meters. 7.71 meters. Now we've done that, we'll look at another example. So looking at this example, we've got our triangle that hasn't been labelled. Now I want to work out this side here. Now, as it hasn't been labelled, I'm going to label it, and what I'm going to start off with is I'm always going to call my side of the angle A, and that's just because of course in the formula I need cos A, meaning that I need an angle. So if I call this side A, or this angle A, that means that x will be little a. And now really the others don't matter because they'll still get put into the formula in the same way. So I'll call this one B, which makes this B, and this C, which makes this little c. Now using a formula, I'm going to get x squared equals 11.2 squared plus 7.5 squared, take away 2 times 11.2 times 7.5 times cos 27. Now that means that x squared is equal to 11.2 squared plus 7.5 squared, which is 181.69, take away 2 times 11.2 times 7.5 times cos 27, which gives me 149.69 to 2 decimal places, which means that x squared is equal to 32, which means that x, because I need to square root it, is 5.66 to 2 decimal places. And not forgetting my units, that's 5.66 centimetres. Okay, and we'll look at one more example then. In this example, we're going to use the cosine rule to actually find an angle. Now, this really is A-star stuff, because not only does it mean we have to label, use a formula, and a linear equation, we actually have to rearrange this time. So I'm going to, again, as always, start with labelling my sides. Now, I've called the angle big A, which means, of course, the side opposite it will be little a. Now, as I said, it doesn't matter what we call the others. So if I call this angle here big B, that'll be little b. And if I call this one big C, then that'll be little c. Now, let's first of all just put those into our formula, and then we'll start to rearrange. So I've got a squared, which is 8 squared. So 8 squared equals 12 squared plus 6 squared. Take away 2 times 6 times 12 times cos A. Now, that of course gives me 64 equals 144 plus 36. Take away 144 cos A. Rearranging that then, well, first of all, actually, let's collect. 64 equals 180. Take away 144 cos A. Now, I want to get on its own, so this is rearranging my equation. So I'm going to take 180 away from both sides. So 64 take away 180 is minus 116 equals minus 144 cos A. And now I'm going to divide both sides by minus 144, and that's just to get cos A on its own. And that gives me 0.805 equals cos A. Now, so that I can solve that for what A is, and remember all I've done is use the same formula and rearranged, I'm actually going to have to divide by cos. Now, the opposite of cos is to do cos minus 1. That's the inverse of cos, and that's again on our calculator. And to get that, we just press shift cos. So I do shift cos 0.805, and that gives my answer, which tells me that to 2 decimal places, 36.39 degrees equals A.